This video will demonstrate using the automatic test point generation utility available in the Allegro PCB editor. Currently I'm working on a double-sided board. I want to run the automatic test point generation routine. In order to do that, I need to go under the manufacturer menu, go down to test prep, and I'm going to use automatic in this case. The run that I'm going to go through right now, I'm going to allow test directly on pad only. I'm not going to allow it to put a test point on a trace. I'm not going to also allow it to insert a pin escape via. A few more parameters I need to go through. I'm going to be pretty conservative, so I'm going to allow it to go on pins. Through hole pad stacks it's got a test to. I only want to go on the bottom side of the board. I'm going to click on generate test point. It'll generate my test points. We go to the bottom of the screen. It will give us a completion. We completed 72, but we failed 31. So not too bad, but not exactly what I was hoping for. So let's go back into parameters. And I'm going to allow it to go to any point, which is going to also include vias as a potential test point site. Now, since I ran this already once, I do not want to remove my old test points. So I'm going to run this in the incremental mode, which says keep the current test points and only work on the new test points. So I'm going to run through and generate some more. Notice down the bottom again, I got a little better. It completed 18, but I still failed 13. And you see the ignore 72. If you remember the first run, we had 72 completions, so it just ignored those. It didn't work on them. So let's take a look at our test points. We'll go into the color menu. We need to go to the manufacturing group. We need to turn on probe bottom. That's where the probes would go for the bottom side. If I had tested to the top side, then there would be some test points on the probe top. Since I probed to the bottom, we'll only turn on that one subclass. If we zoom in up here, we can see there's a little pink rectangle followed by the net name. That represents the actual test point for that net. If we take a look at our log file, file view log, and see what's going on here, we'll start scrolling down. First couple of ones, we see a couple of ones that said ignored, W_R, WEL. They were ignored because they were completed the first time. If we go look at the ROM OEL net, you can see that it actually tested to a VIA, because remember the second time we allowed VIA testing. So it picked out a VIA and tested to that site, given with the X and Y locations. The net down below that, reset L, it was a fail, and it says it's not accessible from the bottom side. So let's take a look at that. So that was reset L. Let's go back to our color menu, go to the nets folder tab. We scroll down to reset L, and let's color that net red. And let's turn on our top trace. We can see here where that net is routed. If we do a show element on that net, right mouse button, net, show element, we'll see that that net only has 2 pins. So if we look back over here, you can see there's the 2 pins. They're both top pins, and that was only routed on the top layer of the board. So we could not access it. There was no VIA available. We couldn't get to the test points on the bottom side of the board. So that explains why that was a fail. This concludes the demonstration on using the automatic test point generation utility available in the Allegro PCB editor.